Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I do gaming walkthrough videos, but today I'm going to be modding this Corsair H80i. So I got a crazy deal on Newegg. This thing was like 50 bucks. It's usually closer to 100. So if I screw this up, oh, it won't be too bad, but it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, we're just doing a basic tube mod. I got this Feser tubing. It's UV reactive. It's pretty sweet. And I'm also adding this reservoir to the loop as well. So I decided to get the green tubing instead of going with the dye because I've heard too many bad things about it leaving residue, and especially in a closed loop system like this, you don't want dye to be left over, like get stuck in the pump. So we're gonna start by these connectors right here. They work like compression fittings. They're like a cheap version of it. But we have to take a razor blade and cut through them. I can't find any other way to do this without cutting them off. If you want to salvage them, I'm sorry, I don't know if there's a way to take these off without cutting them. But yeah, they're little plastic things that are smaller on the end, and they put pressure on the tube, and that's what holds them in place. So basically, I'm going to take these tubes off. I'm probably going to struggle with it. And I'm just going to cut to when I have the tubes off, and I'll tell you guys how it goes, because I got to get a bucket out and shit, and I don't want to spill everywhere. But I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so I got the tubes off. It wasn't too hard. I did have to cut the tubes as well as the connectors. You can see the connectors on the left side of the screen. They came off really easy. And once I cut the ends of the tubes, they slid right off too. It was no big deal. I mean, other than that, I measured out all the tube lengths. What you do is you put it in your system the way you want it, and then just hold the tube up next to it and pretty much guesstimate. It's not that hard. I mean, you can get a ruler and be all thorough about it if that's how you roll, but it was no big deal for me. I cut it like this, and it fits perfectly like this. So it's going to be in my system. It's going to sit just like this, where obviously the reservoir is a CD drive bay type reservoir. So now we're going to fill it up and just start running it, and I gotta be careful here so I don't spill all over my fucking desk and monitor. I don't even have it plugged into the power supply right now. I'm just gonna fill the reservoir as much as possible, then plug it in and cycle the pump. You gotta be careful when you're doing this. Well, not this part. I mean, obviously don't be careful not to spill. If you're not a fucking toddler, I think you can handle that. Well, these pumps are self-lubricating with the actual water inside the system, so the mistake a lot of people make is they just turn on the pump while they're filling it, and they don't cycle, like, turning on and off the pump to make sure there's water in there, because if there's air stuck in the actual pump, you could burn out the motor really quick and fuck up your entire system. So I'm going to try really hard not to do that. Because I'd really rather not break this. I like this thing, man. I like the H80i by itself. I just wanted something that looked nice and performed well too, you know. Because a lot of people talk shit about this. Modding it is pointless. You're not going to see any performance boost. And that's pretty much true. I mean, I'm not denying that. But it's pretty. It is. It's sick. And I don't care. I think it's worth it. It's not that much work so far anyways. You might see with adding the reservoir, you might see a degree or two difference. Cooler, maybe. But there probably won't be any performance difference. But it's going to sit in the dry bay above like this, and then the pump / CPU block is going to sit there, and then radiator is gonna sit. It's gonna pretty much sit just like this. You'll see. I'll show you when it's all said and done. But I'm gonna cut to me hooking this shit up and then cycling the pump on and off. Alright guys, so I got it hooked up to my power supply. In order to do this without damaging your components, you should create what I did here. You connect the green wire to a black wire in your 24-pin connector of your power supply. That like kind of shorts it out and makes it run without being connected to your motherboard or any of your components. It's just a safety issue, so it's better to do it like that. So right now I filled it as much as I could. I got all the tubes filled with water, and now I'm just cycling the machine on and off. See, you only want to run it a few seconds at a time, at least to begin with, because you do not want any air bubbles trapped, any air trapped in the pump, because like I said before, it can do some major damage, and especially in a unit like this, it's just the product's pretty much ruined if you break the pump. It's good to hold it with the reservoir above the pump while you do this, and it's good to shake it around a lot. It'll get a lot of trapped air bubbles out. See, look at all those air bubbles while I shake it like that. So many. That's why you want to just you want to continue doing this for a while until you get most of the air bubbles out. Just turning it on, shaking the system, getting the air bubbles out, and then continuing to fill the reservoir as well until it's pretty much full and the entire system's full. You can hear that the pump it's starting to stop that grinding noise because it's starting to get more of a steady flow of water through the pump. But you can still see all those air bubbles that were in the pump coming out. And it's cool that Corsair has this kind of system built into their pump that you could see the light of it wasn't on before because it was running like shit. If it starts running like shit, the light will actually turn red. If it's like a warning sign that the pump is like it's running too fast and it could burn out. So if you have too much air in it and it turns red, definitely fucking turn your system off. Because you can be doing some major damage. It's cool they have a system like that built in though. That'll warn you if you're screwing up. So I'm gonna continue doing this until it's completely filled into where I want it to be. I'm gonna try to get all the air bubbles out as best as I can. And I'll cut to when I have it where I want it. Alright. Okay guys, I finally got it where I want it. It's super quiet, it looks good. I got virtually all the air bubbles out that I could. I'll keep running it for a little while longer, but I'm gonna leak test it for like a day pretty much, and then just throw it in my system, and hopefully we can call this mod a success. I'll cut to it being in my Bitfenix Prodigy M case, and hopefully everything will be running great. Okay guys, here's the finished product. Oh, it looks fucking sick. The mod went good. The leak test was awesome. I tested it for a while, no leaks at all. So I threw it in. And look at that UV reactive tubing, man. I can't get enough of it. It's awesome. This mod was so worth it. People talk shit about it that it's pointless, and it pretty much is from look at that shit. From like a cooling standpoint, it's or like a practical standpoint, I guess. I mean, it's not gonna make your shit any cooler, but cooler in a temperature sense. But it's fucking sick as hell. And what a pleasant surprise was, I mixed in the coolant that was already in the system since it was only like a week old. I didn't feel a need to completely use just distilled water, and Corsair uses UV reacted coolant, so even in my reservoir it's still UV reactive, so that was a pleasant surprise. I think they use Hydra X coolant, and I had no idea, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Maybe I'll do a video just showing off my case, because I modded the shit out of this case too. I'm just messing with it right now, but thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Do me a favor, like or subscribe or anything. It really helps me out. And I still got giveaways going on, so as long as you're subscribed, you're automatically entered. And I'll talk to you guys in the next gaming video or whatever I do next. Thanks for watching. Later.